This is Travis Wayne Goodsell. I was going to rest and relax, even though I have a backlog of videos to upload. But I just saw on the news that the Equifax data breach also included a Marriott data breach. And of course, as a born and raised Mormon and one who's been pivotal in identifying the LDS church conspiracy against the United States with their collusion or conspiracy with Russia, I made the connection, and so I went and did some checking, and sure enough, it's the Marriott is the Marriott Hotels by Brother Marriott, who used to go on to was it 60 Minutes or some such program to say that the Mormon underwear is magical. and so yeah, that there's more to the story. I'll get to that. So apparently the Marriott data breach began in 2014. This was 2 years after the Russian elections of Putin. 2 years after Mitt Romney attempting to run for president. I'm sure all of you know already the connection that we're getting to here. But if not, we'll keep going. And so yeah, in 2013, that's when Nelson and his wife went to Russia, according to Sister Nelson in the Youth Fireside devotional, whatever it was, last year. And so anybody who had made reservations at any of the hotels, and I've got quite a few, are all affected. I wonder if there's a Marriott hotel in Russia that Nelson and his wife stayed at. That would be interesting. Let's do a Google search to find out. Is there a Marriott hotel in Russia? Normally they would stay at the stake president's homes. Moscow Marriott Grand Hotel. Oh my God. We have just uncovered the biggest, greatest, grandest secret ever. There's several of them. 3 in Moscow. The Moscow Marriott Grand Hotel, the Moscow Marriott Royal Aurora Hotel, and the Moscow Marriott Tverskaya Hotel. That's apparently the cheaper one. Oh man. If Nelson and his wife went to one of these hotels rather than a stake president's home, oh Nelly. Yep, we've got ourselves a P-tape. It's legit. Man, guys, that was the dumbest move to have Packer order Nelson to go to Russia. And today being Thursday, it depends on how long their meetings last. It may be 2 hours, so they may have 20 more minutes in their meeting. Every Thursday at 10 o'clock, it's been the tradition for all of the apostles to meet together in the upper room of the temple, Salt Lake Temple, and meet and discuss business, of which they get paid for. They're not lay. And then the president of the 12 will then give out assignments for people. to where they travel. However, this being the countdown month before General Conference, I'm sure nobody's going to be going anywhere. They want to make sure that everything is set up and arranged for conference, and that the people who are hired to write the talks for the apostles, wait, you didn't know that, are all coordinated and synchronized, because we don't want some kind of stunt like Elder Pullman pulled back in 1984. So, oh, there's free Wi-Fi at the Moscow Marriott and Grand Hotel. Upscale lodge with dining and spa. Yeah, Marriott hotels are nice. I believe it was a Marriott hotel that I went to in New York. Peter Paulino took my companion and I to a restaurant that revolved around, so you could see the whole city. So that was awesome. I hope Peter survived 9/11 though. I was really worried, and I haven't heard from him since. Anyway, so, wow. And they're in this data breach from the Fed's website, the Federal Trade Commission Consumer Information. They're saying, oh, we don't know if it's China. No, it's Russia, guys. It's Russia. So, yeah, here's Mitt Romney's connection with the Marriott. He was on the board until he became a U.S. Senator. Starting to make the connections as I am? I'm not a trained police detective, and I've figured this out. This is a no-brainer situation as to what's going on here. So this is added information to the previous information I've already given to you guys in other videos. So I'm not going to go too long here. But, wow. So, yeah, you have Mitt Romney on the board of the Marriott hotels. And so keeping it in the Mormon family. And you have 3 Russian Marriott hotels in Moscow. Then you have a Russian election in 2012, of which Putin blames the United States. And then Mitt Romney runs for president that year, who has business interests in Russia. And so you can see that the church, being an American religion, Russia, Putin, is saying, hey, America is to blame. The church is an American religion. Mitt Romney is both American and of the church. Anybody saying anything here? And then after the elections in both Russia and America, then Nelson goes to Russia, potentially staying at one of these hotels if he didn't stay at a stake president's home. Because there's not a lot of members in Russia. They're all spread out. Russia's not big. And so, yeah. And then, if you hadn't heard, Trump was going to have Mitt Romney be his Secretary of State. Russia said no. Pick this other guy that we have recently given an award to, Rex Tillerson. Did you know about that? Fox News wouldn't have covered it. Maybe they would have, because it's Mitt Romney. He's Republican. I'm sure they may have shown the dining scene of Trump and Romney being all lovey-dovey after Mitt was ripping Trump to pieces in the preliminary election, primaries. And then Nelson, who was in Russia in 2013, becomes president of the church. And what does he do in his first conference? He not only says, we're building a temple in Russia, we don't know where yet, we're still working out the details. It's happened in other situations. But Russia, they announced that we're not going to tell you our membership stats. And you go to their website to find them, and they lost 200,000 members on top of the amount that they added, which means they lost even more than just 200,000. And then you look at Russia's stats for number of membership, and their total membership for all of Russia still isn't enough to qualify to build a $40 million temple. And if you know anything about Putin's Russia, you know it's run by mafia, the mafia. Putin controls the mafia. He's former KGB. He's the James Bond of Russia. And he blames America and the church, which is an American religion, for the interference in his election. Are you scared yet, Mormons? You should be. President Packer should have closed down Russia as a mission. Pulled out all the missionaries. Closed it down as a mission. They didn't, did they? And so what else did Nelson do? No more visiting people. Our home teachers were dropped. And apparently I have somebody as a minister now. Philip Smith still has yet to acknowledge that he's my minister. The other guy, who is new into the ward area, ward boundaries, he didn't know and felt guilty, I guess, probably from his wife, saying, don't you have somebody to go see? You should probably go see them. I'll make them cookies. Yeah, so the little girl gave me cookies, and I joked, you're able to give away your cookies? Oh, she's got plenty more at home. So I don't know what I did with the number. I don't know if I kept it or threw it away, because I knew I wasn't going to hear from him ever again. I mean, home teaching is horrible in itself with nobody doing it, unless you're in a singles ward and you are assigned to hot chicks. That's exactly what guys do. That's how my dad did it. Because my dad met my mom through the home teaching. He left his genealogy at her home, the apartment for all the women that were living there. And yeah, so that's a story in and of itself. My parents didn't like each other because my dad was Democrat and my mom was alt-right Republican. So, but he was the only man who had actually served a mission back then in those days. And so, anyway. So yeah, this is bad news. And then Nelson, what else does he do in that April conference? He takes away the high priesthood. All of those who are currently high priests are downgraded to the elders' quorum. And any and all elders are never to receive the high priesthood unless you become a leader in the church. And so the way it had been is that there were so many elderly elders that they were just grandfathered into the high priest group because they were old. That's where the high priests were. And so when they reached a certain age, those elders would just go to the high priest group. And whether they became a high priest or not, it didn't matter. They were all taken care of by the high priests. And in many cases, they were just given the high priesthood because of their age. And so it's getting darker. Wasn't expecting to go this long. But yeah, I mean, Mormons, apparently you are unaware of the importance of becoming a high priest and a high priestess. I mean, yes, you become that in the temple, as I've pointed out to you guys, but you're supposed to be able to take it out of the temple, take it into your families, take it into your communities to bless the lives of others. The church won't let women do it since Brigham Young, and now Nelson has taken it away from the men. That the elders get it in the temple to be a high priest, but they don't take it out of the temple anymore. And that is huge, and Mormons missed it. I caught it when he said it, and I immediately did a video on it. And Oakes tried to cover it up by saying, oh, we found this obscure scripture that justifies it. No, there is no obscure scripture that justifies it. Because you have Alma chapter 12 talking about the importance of a high priest. You have Abraham talking about the importance of becoming a high priest. You have the Doctrine and Covenants section 76 talking about the essential nature and character of becoming a high priest so that you can enter into the presence of God in the highest degree of the celestial kingdom. What did you guys think the Holy of Holies was all about? What did you think passing through the veil of the temple, entering into the presence of God, was all about? And so why would the church, a president of the church, just take away exaltation from their members? Why would he have visitation to the members stopped? Because right before him, you know, our ward, and I'm pretty sure I heard them say that it was a church-wide push to go visit people. And the stake presidency were visiting with the wards, and then the wards were visiting, the bishopric were visiting with the elders quorum and the ward missionaries. So that's how I got aware of it. They were pushing to visit people, to get out there, see them. We had priesthood meetings where we were enforcing this, giving lessons on how to communicate with people that we visit. And they were holding meetings at the stake level and at the ward level to discuss the people that they went and visited. I even became one of those people to visit at one point in time, which I thought was hilarious because nothing was wrong at that point in time. And so the stake counselor comes over thinking that I had been selected as a problem family. And because I was still married, we had pictures of temple and Jesus and happiness all around. So it had a woman's touch to the place. And so he was sort of leaving kind of disappointed that he didn't get to inspire me to go to church more often. But where are they now? Exactly. Instead, I had the ward mission leader come to my house immediately after the bishop threatened me and sided with the bishop, talking to me as if he knew exactly the mind and will of the bishop. So he's not welcome in my life anymore. So anyway, yeah, Mormons, guys, this is a huge conspiracy. Unbelievable. So the Nelson, Romney, Marriott, Trump, Putin, all of it is all tied together. Unbelievable. Yeah. And then Mitt Romney went and voted to lift sanctions. I believe it was Oleg Deripaska, or was it the other guy? One of the oligarchs who was sanctioned, and so all of his businesses were sanctioned. Romney voted to lift the sanctions on his businesses. So we see where Romney's loyalties lie. When Russia had threatened the Marriott hotels, stealing data information when he was on the board. So yeah, don't tell me that Romney is innocent and doesn't know anything about the situation. He knows exactly what's going on. And he voted to lift sanctions. So clearly, Mitt Romney is a conspiratorial traitor to the United States of America, being compromised or a willing participant. So maybe tonight will be the sign for the FBI raid of the Mormon church leaders, taking down everybody involved. Wouldn't that be nice? But I warned the FBI, hey, there's something fishy going on here. So we'll see if they're finally going to figure something out on that. So Mormons, I've warned you. If you're not going to listen to me, if you're going to continue to hate me, it's going to be to your detriment. But I thought I should pass this information along because this is a bombshell. So, yeah. And I found out, I guess, because the Marriott are talking to Congress today in a hearing about the data breach. Apparently the Marriott is apologizing, but the other one is saying, we're not to blame, we're not going to say we're sorry. So this is big, and it may explain why they've been coming after me too. There's still an investigation in regards to my identity being stolen, which I've told you guys about in other videos as well. But very interesting. Alright, so yeah, it's noon. Like I said, I wasn't planning on doing anything for the rest of the day. I just need to veg. I may check to see if MD has finally communicated with me, or if I need to reply to Jennifer. I think I might have some comments I can reply to, so maybe I'll do that as I'm uploading. We'll see.